Good afternoon, Merrimack. Today is the July 15th Board of Commissioners meeting at the Merrimack Village District. Public participation is offered by webinar, and you can join the webinar before any meeting by going to mvdwater.org and downloading the latest agenda for the meeting. And that has a web address and a webinar ID that you can enter. So I'll call the meeting to order at 5 p.m. and ask everybody to rise to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so we have 3 commissioners in the room. Wolf Von Sean is excused from the meeting tonight. He's feeling under the weather. We're down 1 position with John Lyons' resignation at the last meeting. So we have still have a quorum here with 3 of us in the room here. So the first thing, we don't need to do any roll calls. Nobody is zooming in. So we go right to Kristen Marr with the analysis of revenue and expenditures and then the capital reserve balance.
Thank you.
You have it, Kristen.
Financial reports that you have are through the end of the fiscal year, June 30th. They are as of July 10th, which is relatively early for me to be doing them. So I did have to do a little more accruals in estimating. So as of the reporting that I gave you, our net ordinary income is about 1.3. Since these financials, I was able to get more into the system. And right now we're actually standing at 1.7 with the amount of billing that we did with the increased usage of water the last month and most likely this month for June and for May. I had predicted 1.2 due to the weather and everyone watering their lawns. Our revenue has increased, but taking in mind that with the expenses for chemicals, it's almost $500,000 underspent. And also we had budgeted for our loan to start for 7 and 8. And that got extended. That's roughly another $500,000. So of that 1.7, there's 2 expenses that are significantly under the budget. So that makes up a good portion of it.
How did that extension happen?
They weren't done with the project and it was approved to extend through June 30th. Our first payment was supposed to be in June.
Oh, I see.
They extended it through, so our first payment will actually be in the next fiscal year.
Oh.
Because we ended June 30th, so the first payment will be in July.
So it's in the next
Probably
budget.
August, once we get all the final numbers in.
All right.
Any questions on any of the expenses and budget to actual?
Let's see. Yeah, I had a couple of them. Let me see here. 50015. Oh yeah, 50015. The moderator.
Inventory, yes, inventory adjustment.
No, that was the annual meeting with the moderator. I'm on expenses. 50015.
15.
Yeah, the 250. Did he not get paid?
He did cash for. I haven't done the journal entry too. We paid him out of petty cash. We actually paid everybody out with petty cash this year, which worked out a lot better than having checks out there for $10 that never get cashed.
Yeah. Good idea. I just wanted to make sure he was doing this for, didn't realize that.
We did pay him.
I'm sure Mark knew. Okay. What else do I have here? 50220. What is that? Turnover cost? What is that?
So that's when if someone leaves or retires or That is for paying out their sick and vacation.
Okay,
And any severance perhaps. So that's what that account line is for.
so that was budgeted but never happened.
Correct.
That's why that's still there. Okay. Right. The only other ones I had 70677. 7.4. Clean and recondition well pumps at 7 and 8. Are those? I have a question. Are those well pumps, or are those the high lift pumps? I'm just wondering if
Bill yet for the,
We haven't been billed for the most recent one.
okay, so that would be more likely that is the high lift pumps.
okay.
Those went out for, those got reconditioned as well.
Yeah, that happened before the well pump issues,
Yes.
right?
Yes, and we also cleaned the head of cleaning on the
Yeah.
clear well.
So it says well pumps on here. That's why I didn't know if we already got charged for that. That's why I was asking, but there's still, because it's
So
still
what would be more specific?
High lift pumps.
High lit?
high lift.
Any others?
Go ahead. Yeah, let's see. 81900. Question on that one. 81900 engineering. Yes, I think there's a note there that says move CIP amounts that were to be covered by budget. So you brought, so we're not using our capital reserve funds then?
CIP, so CIP means construction in progress, so there's
Oh.
2 of them. And unfortunately, so.
All right, that makes more sense.
We had a lot of projects throughout this year that I wanted to keep kind of under one account to see how it was going. Some we were either gonna pay entirely through the budget, some maybe with grants, some with capital budget grants, all intermingled. But so that I had a nice flow of the grand total. Then this month, I then said, okay, we had budgeted, say 20,000 of it was coming out of engineering, 10 was coming through a grant, and so forth. So then I just kind of put it where all the buckets were supposed to.
All right. So you're just kind of moving this into more specific lines,
Yes.
lines in here. Okay. It's not something that was out of the budget. You put it in the budget.
No,
Okay.
it was, you had certain amounts for each of the projects that were gonna come out of the budget.
All right, that makes more sense. And the last 2 I had was 90206, which is the PFAS RLF loan principal. Oh, that's the one
So
you just
that's the one
mentioned.
that didn't start this year.
All right, those are the last 2 questions I had. So you already answered them. So anybody else have any questions at all? Or all right. Carry on.
Page 7, fund balance. Total fund balance unassigned, excuse me, right now for operating is at $20 million, just shy of 21 million. Grand total over all the projects is 21.9 million. Of that, 2.4 million is convertible cash. So the majority of why that jumped up so high, as I mentioned a few months ago, is we brought the 2 projects that ended, which is 2 and 9 and 7 and 8, into our assets. They're no longer construction in progress that sit on a balance sheet. They are now part of our assets.
Okay.
Any questions with that?
Good.
Good.
We're good.
Move over to page 8, capital reserve balances. Again, this is as of July 10th. We have paid what we were said to warrant articles in the March meeting. We also have gotten reimbursement for the 2 items that you guys approved 2 meetings ago, one for 2 trucks and one was for the land. We've actually gotten that money already in, so we wanted to make sure it hit the right fiscal year. So our current balances for land currently is at 1.5 million roughly. Equipments and facilities is about 4 million. System development, 1.2 million. Legal, 110,000. And water purchase and water treatment plant O&M is about 568,000. With upcoming fiscal year 24, the items that are listed for the year, I'm not quite sure if we are going to take some out of capital for artificial recharge because we're on hold with that project. So that will probably move down to 2025, if not later. And the same with Mitchell Woods, that also is on hold. So that will get moved down. And then over in underwater purchase, those 3 are crossed out because they were actually moved up to the budget.
Good, so that preserves our capital, right?
Correct.
Questions on anything? Good.
The rest are pretty much our reports, just to get news.
Right. I think I'm good on everything. You guys good with the rest of the financials?
Yes. The audit has started. We need to sit for last year's audit.
Yes, we do.
So I'm not sure what you have for time this week or next week.
Yeah.
So next month I will present not only July, which will be month 1 of the new fiscal year. I will have better numbers for 2024 through June as more things trickle in.
All right. So I guess we can move to the regular session, just following the agenda here. It looks like the annual review of the investment policies first. And I see we have a copy of that. Packet. Now, does this change every year, or is this just something that we revise?
We have to approve it every
You
year.
have to approve it every year, but
okay,
nothing changes.
I feel like I remember doing this last year.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't remember if this. So
And I was like, I read this before.
other than the date, it's basically the same.
There are 3 policies you guys have to approve every year, which is the investment policy, the payroll policy that it's allocated that Jill and I took over payroll on behalf of Lynn, and the deposit policy, which then again allows us in the office to deposit on behalf of Lynn.
Okay.
So move to approve policy number 04-04-B, investment policy as is.
Second.
All right. Motion by Ken, second by Aaron. Any other questions, discussion? That would be the effective date of July 1st, 2024. And the time frame on that is July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's 300. No oppositions, no abstentions. All right, moving on. Updates on the 2 mainline extension projects. That's something you're just doing.
Yeah, I don't have any,
right?
right?
Yeah.
So this is for the St. Cobain mainline extension projects and line and service project. They're looking to get started here pretty soon. They actually apply for a permit with the town. And the town kind of just said that, hold on, we haven't seen anything on this. So they kind of put the stop to it. So we actually have a meeting tomorrow with Don and Leo and WSP. They had some concerns on the trenching detail and stuff like that.
So what area is this? Is this the Brenda Lane?
Lane,
It's not Wildcat.
Wildcat Falls and that, and then there was a couple. I don't remember all the areas. It was Joppa.
Yeah.
Services. So the services are going to get to first, but the concern is basically trenching across the road, even for the services. And then what's the repair going to be after the fact? And, you know, mainly it was the main line. What they're probably going to ask for the whole road to be paved, whatever the areas.
Yeah.
The extensions.
I think Chopper Road was just paved last year.
Yeah, well, that's not going to get a main line. There's only a couple. And when I was talking with Ed today, and he seems to feel there's only going to be 2-3 crossings for the services.
That's who Ed.
Ed Gano is the works for WSP. He's the engineering firm for St. Cobain, which makes sense because this for the service piece of it. There's quite a few out there that already have curbs. Anything new, it might have to be so a lot of them are short sides, which means the main's on the same side as the house, so it minimizes the asphalt. So there's only going to be a couple of crossings, so that should make the town feel a little better on those. But I will know more tomorrow. I think it'll still move forward.
Yes.
So is that an us miss or a St. Cobain's contractor miss? Because to get that far with a water main project and not put it in front of the
I have been saying since I've been meeting with St. Cobain, you need to meet with the town besides.
okay.
And I want to say they may have met with Kyle early on. I'm not 100% on
Okay.
that.
That might be it.
It has been a switch in there as well, but regardless, I know every meeting that I've had with St. Cobain, I've said, talk to the town, you need to talk to the town.
Okay.
That, you know, there's going to be, you need to get what they want, you know, road restoration and all, but that's with them, that's not with us.
Right. Right, because they could make them overlay roads.
Oh, yeah. And they did that with, say Joppa, it's not Joppa, it's Ridgewood and Knollwood.
Right.
They pretty much overlaid that whole road, so, because it was going to look like Swiss cheese after.
Yep.
Yeah, because our main line extensions that we're doing on those 2 grants, what's the status of, has that been confirmed whether we're going to need to repave the whole road with the grant money or just the trench?
We have met with the town. We've done our.
So they already.
You know, we've met with them and we've talked
Okay.
what we need to do and all of that. So yeah.
Right.
And we're going to try where we can directional drill underneath and we found the extent of what we need to do for pavement restoration. But we're actually going into a lot of newly paved roads. I mean, Wilson Hill was just paved, I think, last year.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So, so as far as our project, there's not really a whole lot to report on that. It just we kind of wait to see where we fall with the funding right now. So,
yeah. So there's still no indication where that's.
that I think it's mid-month. So
I was going to say they were saying
out.
July, but I don't know when. Yeah.
Should be coming out anytime.
And I know there was another some graphics that.
The graphics helped immensely.
It did.
Didn't make the decision better, but it helped me say no.
Especially
I want to stop it.
On Mulligan, all
Yeah.
of that.
All that you're like, well,
they're at the end of the line,
Right.
So you can't really cut that line back because the people who need it the most would be missing. But yeah, on Farmer, I don't know. Is it Farmer or Mason? Mason is the one that was the shorter segment they were looking at, cutting a piece off there, but I still don't know. I guess we just got to see if we can get.
We'll see where it goes. And that was, I mean, ideally on Farmer and Mason, we were talking about doing the whole loop, tying it back in, and we kind of thought that we might be, if worst case, we could stop it as long as we knew that was going to be close. We could probably pick up the last house, put a hydrant at the end, and ideally it's not the way we want to do it, but
yeah. So the houses that are on Amherst Road between Farmer and Mason, I'm assuming they're already there's a line in Amherst, so they
There's
can.
a line in Amherst.
There.
I don't think they're, a couple of them are service, but if they're not, they're eligible for Amherst Road.
Yeah. All right. All right, anything more on that? Mainline extensions? If not, we can move on to item number 3, which is a request from Matt Kasparius, the Director of Parks and Recreation, to rebate an invoice that was high due to a leaking pipe at Wasserman Park. That's here. Any summary? It looks like there was, I was confused about the bills in here.
Those are accounts, covered to the account.
Right.
Showing their usage for their bills over a period of time.
So,
Typically, we will notify somebody if there's excessive usage. But because this is Wasserman Park, this goes up and down. Yeah, it's like that all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm shocked they didn't catch it in the fall.
well, the thing is, though, it's like in December, they had a bill.
so they must shut a valve off or something, right? Because all of a sudden there's no use at all in, like after November of last
I
year.
don't know if they do or not,
So that's what I'm asking, because
because it goes
if you have a
down.
leak, it doesn't shut off. So if there was no, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but am I reading this correctly? There was no usage between like, so these are bill dates. So that would be what, November, you get the bill in December?
Yeah, so they,
The previous month.
Yeah, so there was no, they're just getting the 43,
I would bet that they
$44.
shut that off.
They must
Because
shut a
this,
valve,
the other thing didn't say this is the camp office, not the function hall. The camp office is the little white building above the function hall. And when camp is not in session, no one goes in that building. So I'm betting there's a way to shut it off, and they shut it off so it wasn't leaking.
oh, so like in December, by the looks of this, they shut it off. So
I'm
you're
guessing
saying
it got
that's why.
shut off in the fall, and that's why we saw like the $44.
I don't know if they do or not, because I know that building is sprinkled, and it does have there is a hydrant on the bottom, so I don't know.
They had to because it's not.
There's no use.
usage.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Unless it was they had a break and they fixed it in the fall, and then they had another one.
No, they said that they weren't aware, he said he wasn't even aware of the December bill being that high.
It's been so, I don't remember how it's run. I know there is a pit, and it does branch off, and it feeds the little office before you go down the hill, and I believe it goes down to the
Function hall.
function hall. And I know they also, the garden, no, we do a little side meter off of the hydrant for the garden that gets built separately.
So we just put in a line, right, from like following the main entrance road going down like a few years ago.
The town.
Several years ago?
The town did that, yeah.
And that feeds the function hall, which I believe they needed to increase that line for fire suppression.
They did.
Oh yeah, because they redid the function hall and put in
Right.
sprinklers.
So that must feed the park and rec office as well.
They're saying in the email, it's for connected day camp office and arts and crafts building. I think that's the function hall, that's what they call it.
No, the day camp office is the building that's above the function hall.
Right, I know where that one is, but they're saying
That's the white
and
building?
arts and crafts.
And the
building.
arts and crafts building is like right next to the basketball hoop on the side of the function hall. So if you're looking at the function hall, the arts and crafts building is over here.
Is that where they used to have the Halloween haunted house thing?
I don't know.
Oh, so it's one, like the old cabin.
Yes, it's a cabin that's like right here.
Okay.
So it's to the left
Between
of the function hall if you're looking at it, and it's like below the basketball court.
So between the tennis court and the function hall, the building.
There's that building is the lower building, because then there's another cabin above it.
So with that being said, I believe they can shut things off all day. I think there's like a little trap.
My mom worked at that
next-
camp in the 70s. The way that camp is probably watered is probably the most convoluted thing. Because before that, it was a Jewish camp,
Yeah.
like that people stayed at all summer kind of thing in the 50s.
There's lines that run all over the place in that ground over there. Yeah.
Yeah. So probably
So how many meters do they have in total over there? Do we have any idea about that? I was
I think just the one and two in the.
There's this one and then there's the garden one, right?
Well, the garden one we put out, and that's usually just a temporary we put out. It's the one in the pit, it's their master meter, and
that was probably what feeds all the cabins.
Yeah, because this is just strange, because there was a charge August of 23 for $1,074. And then there was a charge in September for $37. So, but then there was a charge in October for $1,192. So is it not being read? I don't know why these are like jumping around. Someone's turning a valve off and opening a valve and turning it off and opening it.
Yeah, I mean, October, it could have been, if they did haunted house or had some sort of Halloween thing there, turned it on, then turned it off afterwards.
Oh, all right, it could make sense.
But you know, it seems like I mean, how much water would they be using?
Said they had a massive leak underground.
Yeah.
So are they just asking for the 1,233?
Well, we wouldn't give them that anyways. If we're gonna refund them for the water usage, we do that minus the 4403, that's the standard charge.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the questions I had too, was because he wasn't specific about what bill he was asking relief from. And, you know, this kind of goes into territory that we don't usually go into with setting a precedent.
And they're not, you know, saying that we usually reach out if there sees a huge bill, but look in the history, there's nothing really. I mean, it's kind of hard to, unless that leak's been there for a long time. Right.
But I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
they've seen bills in the same amount in the past.
Yeah,
when they are using water.
If this ends up approved, we could have some copies to call up as leaks that they've been paying for.
Really? Huh.
Actually, several of them over the last couple of years that the association is helping. It helps out the homeowners with paying on their behalf.
Yeah, so I guess it's after the meter is the leaks, because otherwise it wouldn't be caught in the meters,
right,
in data, you know, which is all the responsibility of the customer. Happens to be the town in this case, but it's a slippery slope, you know. Like you just said, you make one exception, you kind of open the doors for not a level playing field with other
people's
customers.
Irrigation leaks, and they had to pay for them too.
I went to Italy a couple of years ago, and one of my valves was leaking, and I came home, and the bill was like, I don't know, like $500 for a quarter or something crazy that I'd never paid before. And it was my irrigation head that valve that was leaking.
Yep.
You know, I don't know. I don't know what you guys think.
I was good with it, but if this is going to cause a slippery slope, that makes me, the fact that it's Matt's department and everything he does makes me want to do it. But if this is going to cause a precedent that's going to get us into trouble, that makes me, but I also understand Matt is on a very tight budget this year with the lack of the approval of,
that was above and beyond, you know, it's him, and I'd hate for him to have to bear the brunt of this, but I don't know. I don't know. It's a whole nother can of worms, right? I guess. I mean, what do you guys feel? I mean, it sounds like we're concerned about other.
It would be setting a precedent.
Yeah.
And like as Jill said, I mean, we we've had other people come in and you know, obviously say you can ask the board, if, you know, a lot of times we'll set up, if it's a real expensive bill, we'll set up plans with them so they can pay it down and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, we certainly try to work with people. I mean, this is.
If we do this for the town,
And
preferential treatment.
Pandora's box coming up, open up.
Yeah, I mean, we've got elderly people that have these huge bills and we had to work with them, but we couldn't abate anything.
I mean, that could possibly change our policy of everything going forward. People,
What is our policy on these types of situations, that they have to go before the board or not?
is there anything written about it, how to handle anything like this at all anywhere?
there is
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah,
it's not a policy, but
Sure.
but that's standard. Any kind of forgiveness would.
Yeah. And I know it's been in front of us before, and I don't think we proved it.
No, we haven't.
Which would not do a service to those people who weren't approved previously. Just because this is the town, I don't know that we can make exceptions. I'll speak at once.
Unfortunately, I say we turned down the request.
Yeah. Guess it's the safest thing. I mean, the other thing is, it looks like this has happened in the past as far as the excessive usage. Like you said, it wasn't caught. Like what, in October maybe? December was a bill? Oh, it looks like it was charged on 11/11. Was a $2,000 bill. And that's not the one that's being questioned. It's a later one for less than that.
But in July 25th of 2023, they had a bill for $1,800.
Yeah, which I'm sure they were using water then.
Yeah.
So I guess part of the concern is I guess it's not clear about, I know our software, maybe just to explain it, my understanding is the billing software looks, what does it do? It looks at like the average in the past and if there's anything that stands out, or but if you got numbers that are going from like 0 usage to high usage and then 0 usage, like a seasonal facility like this, it may not stick out because they've encountered usage to this extent over the previous years. So it's not like it sticks out. The software looks back and goes, oh yeah, they used this much water before in the past, you know? So maybe the seasonal places don't catch it as well, I guess, but you know, our regular customers with irrigation being seasonal, the same thing could happen. I mean, it happened to me. So, you know, and it didn't get flagged because.
I mean, I guess even if it flagged it and we look at it, we're going to go. Well, it doesn't look. Yeah, it looks in line. It doesn't look unusual, so it may not get caught. But if somebody that's has a steady bill, and then all of a sudden, that's it's more noticeable, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sure they're aware of it now and probably be a little more religious about shutting the valves off when they're done using water or repairing the leaks, really.
Yeah.
I would wonder if maybe when you guys reach out to Matt and respond to him, if you could let him know the reason why. It's not because we don't want to give Matt water or money back. It's because it would set a precedent that would be difficult for us to maintain. However, like we do with the Reed's Ferry Fun Day, if his kids are having a fun day or something and they need a hookup to the hydrant for water slides or something this summer, and we can facilitate that as a no-charge event, something like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm all for supporting his kids and what he does there. I know my children there all week for theater camp this week. But I don't want to put us in a precedent that is going to be difficult. So maybe that would be an alternative.
You're gonna be there next week? My granddaughter's gonna be there next week.
Oh, okay. My son and my daughter are doing the theater production that they do once a year. So they'll be in 101 Dalmatians on Friday. So yes, we support his whole mission in life and everything, but
Absolutely.
it's a precedent
Yeah.
that is difficult for us. So if we could help him out in other ways, I would say
I guess
that would be the best.
if all the other customers that have already been down this road and got refused were in agreement with letting him, you know, get the rebate on this or something, but I don't think they would be. I think they come in here saying, you did it for them, why didn't you do it for us? You know, and that's not fair. And I think we got to be fair. It's unfortunate, but I guess that's where we're coming from. All right. I think we're clear on that. I don't know if you don't need a vote necessarily for this, I don't think. Next item, number 4, the discussion of costs for flushing wells 7 and 8. The GAC media that was basically came to us, lack of a better word, contaminated with iron. And it took us an exorbitant amount of water. I want to say like 23 million gallons or so that we had to flush before we could put those wells back in service through the GAC media.
Excuse me for a second. Was that the same one that got damaged that we sent back to get repaired?
The vessel, yeah.
It was, yes, it was well 7 and 8, the same. Yeah, it was like one thing after another. It took us a while to get the vessel back.
Then the media that was in the vessels was loaded with iron. I don't think those are related to each other.
Okay.
The vessel is empty.
That's how I was thinking. Thank you.
But it's the same company, it's the same wells.
Yes, same thing.
Same treatment plant. All right, so what do we want to, is this just an informational thing or
It's been in the packet. I think this will be the 3rd time we're going back and forth with information. Ron did a really nice write-up and breakdown.
Yeah.
We have in the packet by Carrie, and page 2 of the email shows you what we're using for numbers there, what they represent, and then the first page is Carrie's response, whether we want to recoup some money or not, and what that would entail for her office to do.
So right now we're saying 185,160.
Yeah, we're no longer one of their customers, so that we really don't have any leverage at all. But if you wanted, I can call them, but I just.
now this is the same company who alleged a lawsuit against us indirectly through the contractor that was subsequently dropped because there was no merit to it.
Yeah, for well 2 and 9 for.
What the heck was that all about? I don't remember.
I'm gonna get this right. It was not taking the media delivery.
The timing
ordered or something to that effect, but they weren't ready for the media when it was ordered. But
we didn't even have the tanks yet.
Yeah, we didn't.
We didn't have the tanks yet. They wanted to bring the media.
It was something like that. It was kind of.
So there's a history of being extremely difficult and non-forgiving to work for, if I recall. So there's no impetus for us to give them the good guy, break. And, the media came to us with that iron, loaded with iron. They delivered media to all our other wells that didn't have anywhere near the same amount of issue as well 7 and 8. So I guess the question I have, I remember you telling me about this, and my first thought was I thought that the iron treatment system, the green sand filters, must have failed in order to let all the iron through. But we have a good history of test results that confirms the grandstand media.
I think you were on some of those. I think you were on some of the Zoom meetings that we had, and that was like a lot of the other Evoqua meetings that we've had. Initially, it's what
did you do?
Your management system must be bad.
Yeah.
Why do you that's their first? It's like they point the finger right at you right at the beginning, or at us, I should say. And
it was coming out of Greensand Prime, and then when it was coming out of the GAC, it was high.
Now they're aware of that, right? We've confirmed they're aware. We've confirmed that the iron coming through the Greensand vessels was consistently low. I think it was in your summary here. Right. So I'm trying to establish like what they know. And the other thing is, I assume we basically followed Evoqua's direction, right? They're the ones who told us to keep flushing all the time. So it's not like we went rogue and did something that they told us not to do.
Right.
It's just everything that they told us to do was at our expense.
The only thing when we're having actually, I made they were claiming we had breakthrough when we were actually having the bacteria issue.
Yeah, it was another issue.
It was coming through the filters, and we're like, it's not. That was the other one. They wanted to put they wanted to fill the top of the vessel with, they wanted to raise the pH of the vessel.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we're like, we're not going to do that. But
so it may even be that whole bacteria issue could have been something that was delivered, because I don't think that's kind of unclear, but that's a separate issue.
It is.
So our contract is, I guess what I'm asking is, do we have to go through the contractor on this one, or can we go directly to Evoqua? I mean, ultimately, if you go to the contractor, he's going to just turn around and go to Evoqua, right? So.
Pay them directly, right?
We went through, we spec that media through Evoqua, but we still went through the contractor. I think we're all.
I mean, I'd rather bypass the I think it's not the contractor's fault. It's the supplier.
Bypass the contractor at this point. Only because everything's out of warranty at this point.
And then I don't know, are there provisions in the contract for dealing with like damaged or faulty product or equipment or anything like that? But I think we made them aware of it, though. That's the thing. It's resolved now, but now is the cost that we incurred by implementing their suggested solutions,
right?
Which worked, but it took 23 million gallons down the infiltration pit before it worked. And time, there's a ton of time in here of our.
Right.
That's where the biggest. Well, it's about even, right? Pretty much half of it is in our time, and the other half is in.
It was chemicals, it was time.
Yeah. So I guess like I was thinking is maybe I guess talk to Carrie and see if we reach out first and make this.
This was going to suggest maybe a letter or something to them.
So I was thinking like if Carrie wrote a letter or you wrote a letter and Carrie tweaked it and signed it or something.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I think we got to give them a first opportunity to, show them what our issues with the damages are. And then depending on their reaction to that, the ball's going to be back in our court. What do we do about it?
Right.
I don't know if there's any other feelings about that. But
it's a lot of money to not do anything.
$185,000, we could certainly use that for other things that.
Well, it was just, a lot of the time that we'll never get back.
You definitely don't want like a coupon to use them again, though. Like that's not how I want that. Like I'd rather have no money than that.
I like that one.
No.
5% off coupon.
So let's, I guess, do that. Get back to Carrie and see if we want to just put something out to them. I think it would be better to come on her letterhead
Probably.
You know, just to say, look, this is what we feel is our damage on this, and we feel that we followed your direction. It's your media that we used, and we did everything you told us to do, and it worked, but it took us. And not only that, we were out for, I don't know, what the hell was it, 4 months of, we couldn't put this thing online. We had to flush it forever.
We flushed it forever, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, there's an inconvenience charge that's not even on here. Right? So, yeah, I guess see if she's willing or, you know, should be willing to do at least that. And then depending on what they respond, we'll take it from there, I guess. Sounds good?
Yeah.
You guys agree with that? I think you were kind of planning on that anyways, right?
Yeah. Kind of test the waters a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
It's before she puts like an exorbitant amount of time into it kind of thing.
Right. They're not aware of really any of this cost issue that we're questioning at this point, or do you have any conversations in the
I have
past?
not had any conversations with them.
So this hasn't been dismissed by them. They're just not aware of it. That we're
They're not-
asking.
They're not aware of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that. They're not, I mean, they're aware of it because they're aware that it happened and we were trying to resolve it at the time. They're not aware
that we're asking for
yeah, that we're thinking
compensation for it. Yeah. All right. Everybody good on that? We'll move on. So now we got the minutes. So Board of Commissioners review the minutes from June 17th, regular Board of Commissioners meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Seconded.
All right, motion by Aaron, second by Ken. No questions or corrections to offer. All those in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's 3-0-0, no oppositions or abstentions. And then what do we got? Action items next. There. All right, so just going down the list, number 2, I see that is in the packet, I believe. I'll get back to, well, I guess, yeah, so that was in the packet. So you do this quarterly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. August, September, October, yep. Number 23. Those are also quarterly, that's due next month. And then 43 is in September. That's the Salt Mitigation Committee meeting. And we're targeting for October, so we're gonna send the notice out in September on that one. Number 58 is also in August. 59 is also, it's in September. So the only other one about July, probably don't have any more progress on that one, is the DOT sign, the no salt sign closer to exit 10. I'm assuming the DOT hasn't gotten, I don't know where the
I don't know where we're at.
letter
We
on
haven't received that yet from.
It's on their agenda again tonight.
the school board.
It's on the school board agenda again tonight.
So they're writing their own letter. They didn't like our letter. They thought it was too much concern with liability on their part. I explained to them that Continental is already, and I sent them pictures. I sent you guys all pictures. There's already a sign on Continental Boulevard that says no road salt area. And we're asking that road to go to reduced salt.
Yeah.
But they're actually concerned about that, even though it's a no road salt area already. Doesn't make any sense to me. So I guess we'll just have to wait on that. I did ask the school board to send us a copy of the letter that they write. And I don't know if they're going to or not. We'll have to see. But it is on the agenda over
It's
there?
on their agenda.
All right, I wasn't aware of that. So what's on the agenda is probably to review their letter and determine if they want to send it out, I guess, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. So I guess we'll sit tight on that. Okay, number 68, we got September. Let's see, number 79, monthly. Oh, those are the updates on the water line extension. I think we already covered that. Yeah.
That was a question.
Oh,
Did you want to change? That's okay. Did you want to change the date for 67?
yeah. Why don't we go to next month? Because hopefully we'll have an answer.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so we're still good. 79 is monthly. Number 85, that says June, so that should have been bumped out. What is that? The financial accounting software.
We're still in limbo.
Okay, put that on for, you want to just come back every month and give us an update on that, maybe?
Put that monthly.
Yeah, so make that last column monthly, Amanda, if you can, on number 85.
Yep.
Employee handbook update.
I think we should move that maybe to August, where Wolf had a lot of
Yeah,
into that.
Anyway.
because we don't have it in the packet anyway.
I'd really like to have a work session or something on that.
Oh, yeah?
For some discussion. So there's some employee things I'd like to
Okay,
talk on, so.
It's not gonna be hours long thing, it's
No, no.
basically
all right.
something we need.
So let's put it for August. You think we can try to get that set up?
Yeah.
At least we don't make August, we'll bump it out again, but yeah, let's do that. So number 86, change that last column to August.
All right.
Set up a meeting, a work session between now and then.
Yeah.
So, like I said,
You want to look at calendars now? You guys got
Yeah, that's
calendars
fine.
on you right now? I know Wolf's not around. He's probably the hardest one to pin down typically, but.
If you want to why don't we just have Jill send out a doodle poll
We'll send out.
Yeah, if you want to
and
do
they
that.
figure out what, and then we'll,
yeah, about 2 weeks, then
yeah.
I am on vacation that week of August 19th, which is our next meeting, but I am planning on zooming in from where I'm going to be for that Monday night meeting.
To where you're going to be.
I'm going to be in the Finger Lakes and
Oh,
Niagara Falls. Yeah, so anyways. So I might not be able to jump in on that work session, depending on what's going on, because that's probably gonna be more in the daytime, I'm assuming, or something, but,
so
or early.
Oh, we can.
2 weeks out from now, she was thinking.
Oh, you were saying that? All right, yeah, I should be
no,
around.
well, it's gonna give you 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And just throw some
Yeah,
out
just
there.
throw some dates out there.
Kevin, you can't do during the day at all, right?
No.
It can be evening.
Yeah, if you can do the week of
Plan evening.
August 5th and August 12th, that would definitely work better
Like
for me.
4:30ish I can do. 4 and 4:30.
Did you say August 5th through 12th is the best for you?
Yeah, those 2 weeks, either August 5th or August 12th.
Those are fine for me. Just avoid Thursday.
Can't do the 9th
Okay.
or Wednesday.
Oh, Thursday.
Sorry. The kids have so many library activities on Thursday. Not the 9th.
The 5th doesn't work for me either.
You're whining
Gonna be at
it.
Fenway Park.
12.
So really, what is it, 6th to 7th, 12, 13, 14, 15? I'm sure Wolf will have a bunch of those that won't work for him, probably. All right. So where were we now? We were on
87 now.
Yeah, 87. So 87, that's in October. 88. PFAS filtration media alternative vendor plan. GAC vendor alternative plan. You still putting something together? I mean, I think you got the process down pretty good.
I thought so too. I'm trying to think now why we.
Was it something written that you never got out to us at this point? Because I know the process is working fairly smooth as far as I know. I don't remember how far you got on that.
Okay, I
Remember what-
believe this is more of the
Pilots?
pilot
Oh,
testing. That's in parentheses. So
oh yeah, it does say.
I don't actually have anything on that.
So that's not going yet, right?
It's not going yet. No.
You know what
I got
we're waiting on?
I
I think in May, they were saying it was like coming up in a few weeks.
No, I can get back with Linda on that. I
Saying
don't.
that.
What's the name of the company? What's the name of the pilot testing company?
Green.
No, it's Blue Leaf.
Keep thinking of the T.
Leaf.
So maybe it's their schedule.
Could be.
All right. All right, so let's put that off for August, number 88.
Okay.
Number 90, anything new on that?
Yeah, so, we talked to,
That's the solar power option, just for the viewing audience.
we're just going to be, talking, Doug Lyman from Access Energy is our broker. Had a meeting with him, I have a meeting coming up with Union Electric. I just talked to them today to see what options they can give us, and then once we get those, then we can go back to Access Energy and review that.
Okay.
We're still working on it.
All right, so you want to make, go out a month or so, or that'd be good? So number 90, we'll change the last column to August.
Okay.
92 is due in August. 94,
Kind of discussed. Right?
flushing of the water. We just talked about well 7 and 8, so let's move that number 94 to August. You've got an update number 95 on update on water line extensions. I think you
We did that.
covered that.
Yeah.
That's monthly, so keep that the way it was. And then the last one, 96, is the cybersecurity, information security. Discuss with contractors. That's in August too, so we're good with that one. I guess we're good with action items.
Oh, where are we at? Old business.
Yeah, so I guess there's some stuff in the packet I just wanted to go through. I guess we can go in basically as old business. The first one is the PFAS vessel monitoring summary. And I made a couple notes here. What did I say? Oh, yeah, so if you have that table in front of you, it says no data this month for wells 2 and 9, is it? 7 and 8. Oh, is that just because they're offline?
They're offline, yeah.
All right, that makes sense. Just came to me now.
Because of the pump issue, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been, it's actually been kind of a pain, but we've been having to use system water to keep the vessels. You got to keep so much going through the vessels.
Yeah.
To keep them active.
No. Yeah.
You don't have to go through the whole startup and shutdown process.
Right.
Yeah.
So we actually have to flush it back through the vessels. Keep water going through them every certain couple days. So.
Gotcha.
Okay. So based on this, it looks like we definitely have. What are we trying to figure out here? We have breakthrough through the lead vessels of 4 and 5 and 2 and 9, right? So those, so I guess what I'm thinking here is you're probably going to be planning on changing out.
Yes.
4 and 5 on December 16th, around there, and then wells 2 and 9 in September.
I screwed this up.
Let me, I'll let you find the thing first. It should be before that. It's
Somehow I shuffled it somehow.
I know.
I think you're swearing.
It's right there, right?
Huh?
That yours?
Yeah, this is mine.
Oh, I was gonna.
All right. So it looks, according to this, that we're getting breakthrough PFBA in the lead vessel at wells 4 and 5. So that is due the 8 months from the last change out when it was switched into lead position, I guess. So the change out date that we got to be, that we should be planning for which is what I'm trying to get to, is to change out the lead vessel in December at wells 4 and 5, and to change out the lead vessel or the 2 trains of lead vessels at wells 2 and 9 in September.
Yes.
So as long as that's on your to-do list.
Yep.
I guess that's the point of this chart. And so at well 7 and 8, it looks like there is no breakthrough through the lead vessel that we're aware of, because it just says no data this month. So I assume the previous data didn't have breakthrough, because it would have been a date of the first breakthrough, right? Yeah, the date of, said date of first detection in effluent, and for 7 and 8, it says no data this month. So
Well, they were only put in, oh no, that's like a year.
but if there was detection coming through the lead vessel, then we should be planning to change that in October. So I guess I'm reading this to assume we haven't had breakthrough yet there. Because if there was breakthrough prior to that, it would have been the date that there was breakthrough. Because the other ones were, the other 2 treatment plants had first detection in effluent on 6/19.
7 and 8.
So it doesn't say 6/19 for well 7 and 8, so I assume that we haven't
Yeah,
seen.
when the sample before was their breakthrough. I mean, when, yeah,
Effluent.
where would you
So it
get
would have
it?
been the one before.
Right.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on that one, on 7 and 8. And when it gets running again, next time we sample it, if we see detections coming through the lead vessel, then we got a plan on that one for October. But until we see detection, we're not gonna plan on changing out the media. That's the way the policy.
But it's also,
We might be able to go November.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Maybe we can go a little longer to save some, push off some of that cost. Which, I mean, if it's not being used, then obviously the life of the media should be extended somewhat, right? Okay. Are we sampling monthly? We are, right?
Yeah.
Sampling that monthly. Okay.
I feel like the way Ron's got it now, it's pretty easy to schedule a change out, not like it was
Yeah, they
took
seem
6 months
responsive.
previously. It seems like you just
Yeah.
call them up and they schedule it and you get on the calendar and.
So I'm gonna, actually, that was on my list to do this week. I wanna get ahead of it.
Yeah, you can start planning for wells 4 and 5 and what was it, 2 and 9. Still a few months out, but
Well, yeah.
On
at
their
least
calendar for
I don't know what
September.
their schedule, they could be getting busy, they could.
Yeah,
be filling
exactly.
out, So,
and you got to think at some point with all these other treatment plants that are going to be built, that it's going to get harder to get carbon at some point. I got to think.
Well,
So-
I mean, it's gonna take a while for them all to fire Evoqua, so. For being unresponsive, so I mean,
Yeah,
it's a little bit of a lag for us.
which is going to make it worse on us because we already did that. We're ahead of everyone else, right?
so we've actually been approached from Granite State Rural Water to partner with them to have a class probably this fall. 2025, okay.
Right, so I think so.
Yeah,
Like a field visit type thing.
yes, and they had talked about possibly having a boat over there, and we're like, yeah, I don't feel comfortable doing that.
No.
So we actually contacted the vendor we're using now.
Yeah.
He was out of the country at the time, so we put him in contact with them, and so he's going to be part of it. That's what's
Sharing our trade secrets.
Yeah,
yeah.
Just got to make sure we're on the top of their list, not anybody else.
Yep.
We're giving them the references. Okay. So according to this, the last line in that table says date of first detection in effluent. That's what's going into the drinking water. And it says non.
no, it's going into the lag
The
vessel.
lag, we still have the lag vessel protection.
No, it's going in the lag vessel.
I don't think so.
So yeah, because see, it says date of first detection of effluent there, and then date of first detection of effluent there. So this is just the lead effluent, and then there's the lag behind it. Because then it has to go through here to find the Laporte leading breakthrough. So yes, that doesn't mean it's in the finished water. It just means that it's in the detection of the effluent of the lead vessel.
If it's in detection of the effluent in the lead vessel, that's the date of first detection and effluent of the lead vessel up top.
Right.
So the very last line there, very last line, what is that supposed to mean?
This is the
Date of first detection and effluent.
That's the effluent of the lag vessel.
Yeah, and what comes out of the lag vessel?
The clean water, but there's no, the only
Well,
detection
it
is.
says non-detect, but then the other two treatment plants, it says not sampled. So I don't know that it's non-detect if it's not sampled, right? NA says not sampled. Why is it not sampled? Because it's not,
Well,
maybe it's
7 and
not
8
true.
is not running.
maybe it's not through the 75% port yet or something like that.
Right, because they're not in the port,
Well, we're
they're not
testing
in
the finished
breakthrough
water.
yet.
We're not testing.
Oh, yeah.
This is through the vessels. So we're not,
So that's a little confusing because I prefer to see non-detect there if we're sampling for it. Because right now this is telling us we're not sampling for it.
why would
It's NA says not sampled. That's the key in the bottom of the page. So why is it saying not sampled?
so we're not sampling the lag at that point.
We have to be though.
No, we have finished water.
We always have finished water every month, right?
Yeah, but we wouldn't test, so if we're not to that point yet, so we
But that should be the finished water that we're testing. Should be that.
Yeah, but I don't think they test all the ports. They follow the PFAS. So if the PFAS is halfway through the lead tank, they're not going to test the 50% port in the lag tank.
But we're gonna test the 100% port in the lag tank.
That's finished water.
That's what that says.
No, we're gonna go down to the
That's-
next one. So if we get a detection in the effluent, we go to the 25 port in the lag.
So we don't sample the final.
That's a completely different chain of custody because we do all raw and finished water of another chain of custody. So it's
Right.
always not detected.
So we're only going one,
So it's
we're going
not.
one port ahead of, so we're not going,
Yeah.
we're not doing that extra, so we're not doing the effluent of this.
Well, I think you should take the number off that other chain of custody and put it in here. Or put non-detect in there or something, because this, I don't know. I just don't like that it says not sampled in there when we did sample the actual finished water.
We're gonna switch it to the last,
Finished water.
in the finished water or the last port that was tested that was.
Maybe that should say finished water.
Good.
Does that make sense? Because we're sampling the finished water. So let's say we're sampling the 50% port in the lag vessel. We're also sampling the finished water. Right?
Mhm.
So if the finished water comes up non-detect, that's coming through the effluent in the lag vessel is non-detect. So that should say ND. As opposed to making it ambiguous by saying not sampled.
When we take it offline, a lead offline to regen, and the next one becomes the lead tank.
Yeah.
Then we're sampling at 2550 and then the effluent's that way. So it's
We only sampling the lead vessel at the 2550 and
we do
75?
2550, then add 75, then add effluent, then add 25 regen, and then do 2550.
So when it's freshly changed and it's like we're working off, we swap it over. And
No,
we're only doing like the first test we do would be like 25.
Yeah.
We do 2550. So if we know we're getting detection in 25, we do 50 because we know when it's not there yet. Until we get detection at 50, then we leapfrog it down. And that's we do that all the way
only
through.
sampling where we can expect it to be.
Exactly.
We're not going to sample the 75 port if we have PFAS at 25 and we haven't hit the 50 yet.
Correct. Yeah, we chase it right down through.
And that's for small chains too. It's not just for
Right.
anything.
The minute we get some sort of detection in 50, then we go right to the next testing, we go right to 75.
I thought it was even, yeah, it's always one ahead.
Yeah.
Like that. All right. I still
I think
think
it's the way
you're
it's
not
written.
putting data that we have in the table. But you want to keep everyone guessing, be my guest.
I just think the way you're looking at the table, you're
It's
looking
not
at it,
me,
it's like,
it's our customers looking at the table. I'd rather them.
do they see this
I guess
table?
we have to hide that.
No, they see the finished water.
Yeah, this is just
This is for us to look at
change out.
the actual, so when I look at this, I literally think of the ports on the side of the thing. That's what I'm like seeing in my head is the ports.
Yeah. All right. What else do we got down here? I thought there was something else we had here. Yeah, so some strange things going on in the PFOA. Well 9 was at like extremely low. So I don't know if you guys actually looked at any of this, but it looks like well 9 was at down the bottom. Looking at the Underwood graphs. Looks like it was at around, it was the highest ever detected, like 33 or so, and month before it was at like 2. Go figure with that one. That's the raw water I'm talking about. And it has been as high as 30 before, and then it went down to like single digits, and now it's bumped back up to it's strange how it's jumping around like that.
So well 9 right now is actually probably at 500 gallons a minute, 600 gallons a minute, because we lost a circuit in the BFD at well 2. So we've got the soft start on, so we're running well 2 at 1,200 gallons a minute.
So the soft start without the BFD.
Soft start without the BFD.
Which we talked about this before,
Yep.
Which is good that we can do that, because I know that was asked.
So we actually had
Good to know.
So we fired up well 9 to start the day. That was running at, I think, 1,400, 12 or 1,400 gallons a minute to keep running while we diagnosed well 2. Switched it all back around, got well 2 fired up at what we need to fire it up at, and then brought well 9 online and to equal it out at 2,000 gallons a minute. So, wow.
This kind of makes a little sense to me weather-wise though, because we had a super wet spring. So that diluted the PFOA down a lot, and we weren't pumping a ton. So I feel like it diluted what was coming out of the well, and then everything dried up and we were pumping a ton until the PFOA went back up again.
It does seem, so we don't really know. It's a combination of both, more pumping and less dilution, or is it more one or the other? We don't really know. So that's a good point. And I remember presenting that to the environmental HB 737 commission I'm on. They were asking the same questions too. All right, so I mean, it just looks like wells 4 and 5 were pretty high as well. So it's probably all the seasonal thing or the higher pumping thing going on.
And we're really, we're pumping because of 7 and 8 being down as well.
Being down.
4 and 5 pumping more.
Right.
Or 5 is pumping more.
And then just going back real quick, the last thing is the budget tracker that you put together quarterly. It looks like Emery and Garrett, the salt mitigation budget is running pretty thin. Looks like there's only about 2,600 left in that. So is that the watershed base? No, that's the other one. All right, okay. That's the second line down for Emery and Garrett then.
The road salt mitigation is discussed when we install the CTDs.
The conductivity meters and stuff?
The divers.
Okay.
Installed into that. We're just waiting on a report. That might be the last 2,600.
All right, because that's what I was wondering, if we're thin on that, if they're gonna have to put another proposal in front of us on that or not, but that's all I had. Just wanted to know if that was the case. All right, so yeah, so I'm good on that. So I guess that was under old business. I don't know if there's any other old business. What has?
Just, so I know I texted you all, but we did get the commissioner position posted. I set a Facebook website, sent out a notification, posted at the town hall, post office, and library, like we do our agendas. On the front door of the office, and I also sent it over to Merrimack TV, and if they have a spot for it, they will post it as well.
Good. I did put it on Positive Forum too, the link, and I haven't gotten any comments on it, so I think we got slim pickings coming up. I think Wolf had someone that I think we interviewed last time here that I think might be still interested. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know what else we're gonna, if this might linger on if no one wants to offer. I don't know if it's a time of year, people aren't checking in on things or whatever, but I don't know what else we can do to get the word out. So hopefully someone will, you haven't been approached by anyone yet, right? Like with interest, yeah. So I guess we'll follow with Wolf. I know last time you jumped on it and there were a couple other people who at least replied,
I
but
have a volunteering problem.
I'm not hearing anything. I'm not hearing
Full
anything.
disclosure, I meet with the library board of trustees tomorrow night.
Really?
Yes, really.
All right, any other old business? Seeing none, any new business?
I do have just a quick one. Did you get a letter from ComDev? Looks like they're starting the CIP planning process early. And they're looking to get our CIP by August 16th.
That stands for community development, in case
Yeah.
calm down.
I did talk to Paul today.
Community.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
See the look on our
I
face,
thought-
that's why I was asking.
Oh, I thought you knew that. I'm sorry.
No, sorry. So like Robert.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make more sense?
Yeah, that makes more sense. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I've never called them that. I know the ball, but I've never called them that. Okay.
That's his office.
So the town council, town manager and budget committee are looking to get started prior to the draft budget this year. They have the CIPs done before that.
Now I have a question about the CIPs, because the way the town does CIPs and the way we do CIPs are like totally different. And I know like they go to the planning board to get reviewed or ranked in some magical formula or something,
Yeah.
but the town only puts like projects in there. And we put like, you know, like
List stuff.
we put stuff that they look at it and go, well, that's not a CIP item, but that's how we use our accounts. So I
They
just,
always tell us we're doing it wrong. And
so they're all, yeah, so I don't know if there's a way to, because obviously they're not, like some of the stuff, like we had the trucks on there and they're like, that's not a CIP thing to them. But to us, you know, that's how we plan it out and it makes more sense to me, but obviously I think having the planning board rank our need for pickup trucks doesn't make a lot of sense either, so I don't know what the solution there is.
So-
It's just,
Provided as a courtesy too.
right, right.
Well, I was gonna ask that.
And the ranking doesn't really do anything.
I thought there was something that said we have to meet with them every year or something, but is that
Discussed it.
They asked us
just a
to
courtesy?
ask Terry, and I could ask again. I'm assuming it's a courtesy, but I mean, we used to meet with the budget committee as well.
really?
That was kind of,
Town budget committee?
yeah,
Do they have one now?
they still do. It's really just the school, for the school department.
Okay, right, okay,
So
yeah,
we
there, because I was like, I don't think there's a town
stopped
budget committee.
Think so either.
We stopped doing that years ago. I don't know, I'm just not 100% if we need to go or not.
I mean, there's some projects on there that we put on hold, which they're gonna ask us why, so
I mean,
I don't know how we're gonna have an answer for that, you know?
Yeah,
Brought that up at other meetings with
right,
Yeah.
right.
legal,
We don't have an answer right
it's
now.
not going anywhere, so.
with that being said, I don't think a lot's gonna change on it, what we have on there
Right.
now, so. I mean,
Yeah.
change the date, submit it, but
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know that there's much changing on the CIP,
Right.
our CIP, right?
I mean, we can look at the dates, we might be
A
shifting.
few things
shifting
added
things
on,
around,
and then a
but-
few
things
that
moved.
The years getting shifted.
Yeah.
down.
Right,
Yeah.
right, because like the recharge and all that stuff is getting shifted down, but
Yeah,
So maybe we do some, so I did talk to Paul, and he said, we'd like to get it by the August 16th, but we look, they're looking to have stuff starting in September, but as soon as you can get it to us would be great. So maybe if we plan on the August meeting, maybe we can do some shifting, have it on the
Yeah,
agenda
that would
for
probably
August,
make
we can
sense.
look at it,
yeah,
approve it, and then we can ship it off to them after that, so.
so so then when's their meeting versus our meeting in August? Do you know? So
They're
we're on
2
the,
weeks, so there's with the second, third, second and fourth.
we're on the 19th. So it'd be the 22nd. What day are they on? Tuesday? Well, that's July, so yeah.
They're Thursdays, right? Or are they Tuesdays?
The planning board is,
I'm thinking
Planning
of
board,
town
right?
council.
yeah.
I don't remember, does it go to town council and then planning? I don't remember how it works.
I don't think it's anything to do with the town council. We've never done nothing to the town council, right?
We haven't gone to the town
Planning
council,
board.
it goes to the planning board, but I don't know if the town council wants to look at it prior to going to the planning board.
I guess my only question would be is, do they want like everything, or do we just give them our projects?
I wouldn't. We can certainly talk about it.
Right, I don't.
I wouldn't change it if we like doing it the way we're doing it.
I think it makes sense for how we spend the money and how we use the funds, but I don't know that
The
it
way that we do it
fits in their system of how they do
Yeah,
that.
I mean, we're,
for our
this is-
trusts.
right.
and-
Right,
and
right.
Budgets.
This is our working document.
Yeah, no one's
Right.
talking about changing, we're just talking about changing.
Well, I
the
just
dates.
didn't know if they needed to see the whole thing,
Oh,
or they
yeah,
just really
yeah.
want to rank the planning board projects.
I mean, they're gonna tell us they want us to get rid of odd and even, and,
Yeah,
big boy town now,
and more water, and more wells.
quote unquote.
They're on the planning boards Tuesdays, and I think they're the same, they fall on the same third, I think it's the third Tuesday. It's at the same time as us.
That'd
They
be
have
like,
two a month, so
That'd be-
maybe it's the first and the third.
well, either way,
Whatever, yeah.
let's bring it up, put an agenda item on our, August 19th meeting.
Yeah, I don't think it necessarily means that we'd have to go in August to present it,
No.
just they
Yeah.
wanted it.
So if you wanna shuffle things around like you're talking about, that makes sense with you guys, and then
Yeah.
bring that up,
I've already handed him what I know about now,
okay?
So we'll
so.
start.
Yes.
And then, but yeah, so we can look at that at our August meeting. And then if we're ready to go for whatever the next meeting is at the planning board, then you can do that.
Yeah.
Just give it to them or whatever, and I don't know if we have to attend or whatever, but
Yeah, I'm sure. And that may come up later, that may still be the same time frame.
okay. All right, any other new business? Yeah, I do. So one of the things is this, like the next phase of the cancer study that this is put on by, or being done by the New Hampshire Department of Public Health, Division of Public Health Services. They're asking us, so I'm on that HB 737 commission, so we get an update every month from the DHHS representative, Ian Atwell. And they want to get more people participating in this. This is help us understand kidney cancer concerns in Merrimack, New Hampshire. We're partnering with community members to investigate and understand concerns around health issues related to Merrimack and surrounding areas. New Hampshire residents with or without kidney cancer, please complete a quick survey and or take part in a discussion group. So there's like one of these QR codes you can scan and that brings up a survey, or there's a link here that you can participate in. And I think this is in everyone's best interest in town to get a better handle. The last cancer study indicated that Merrimack had a 42% higher occurrence of pelvic and renal cancers than the rest of the state. But the sample size was small, so they want to extend that out. So that's why they're trying to get more participation in this. So any way that we can publicize this would be helpful. So things that came to mind, because I remember when we went to the new billing software, there was a message, or there was a discussion about that we can add like messages, especially to the email bills that get sent out. So is this something that could be attached to that or something?
So these could go in with the paper bills.
Okay.
It can't be anybody that's got this
ACH thing.
Well, if they're getting notifications of those by text or email, or we don't have any control over those as far as being able to put in a link or attach a flyer or anything. It's how they're
just getting the invoice.
This could go in with the paper bills, but legal would like a caveat on there that this does not. We would put it under like a community.
Community advisement or something.
It can't be part of MVD because it's not our study. We don't have any information on it. People call here looking for information. We're not going to have any.
Yeah.
So.
No, I mean, I would say it's the HHS is right on here. It's their thing. So definitely reference them.
So if we were to add these to our current paper bills, we'd be paying $864.81 to do that.
Really?
So watch what we can, but we could also just post on Facebook and the website and all that. And that'll give us more freedom to add the legal language.
So going back to the software, billing software upgrade, it was distinctly discussed that we'll be able to notify our customers. Does that mean, how was that presented that now we can't do it?
We can notify certain messages. We can't add links or QR codes or anything. So
voicemails.
Amy can send out a message via text, email, or whatever that says,
a new bill.
Your bill's out, or Joppa is down because there's a leak and you won't have water for blah, blah, blah. Very specific. There are no links allowed whatsoever.
No links allowed?
Oh, is it like a Nixle alert kind of thing? Yeah, because there's never.
Well, that's 180 degrees opposite of what I was
I'm
looking
wondering
at.
if you think
Our newer software we're looking at will have hopefully better.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
you might be thinking.
I think when we were talking about the news,
Let's leave it
yeah,
that way.
yes.
So this is customer preferences too. It's not something we just click on. It's they only get it the way they get it because they chose it. They can sign up for notifications or not. They can sign up for e-bills or not.
So this wouldn't be, there's no way to do this as part of sending the bills out.
There is
Just
paper
paper.
bills.
Only paper, yeah.
Wow. It's kind of frustrating, because we went to a better system that makes
We
us.
didn't go to-
Look, we have.
We're not. We haven't.
That's that software.
Yeah, we haven't changed
Still,
our
all right, so
system.
we're still on the
software
old.
that we were technically forced to because Continental was not going to be servicing the
Yeah,
platform that we were on prior because it was a legacy platform.
So we were looking at that Springbrook, and that looked like it was gonna be really good, but then the more we looked at it, it wouldn't have jived with our billing software, not our billing, our meter read software. it would make things more
Right.
difficult.
It was,
So
along
when-
with the fact they had, Amy would be able to do a lot more. But there were a few things that she wouldn't be able to do that she could do now. And she really came to the conclusion that she doesn't wanna have to give up anything to get better.
Right.
So when we went
So-
from quarterly billing to monthly billing, we're using the same software for that? All right, so that's where I was thinking we were changing at the same time, and then we put it off to change it later, and then we went with, now we don't want to use that company, which I agree with. Find the
Yeah,
one
I
that
think we
works.
expressed decided not to do it at the same time.
Okay.
Jumping
Right
just to jump
afterwards.
was not a
We were
good
hoping
option.
for the spring book, but it just.
Right, right. How many paper bills do we send out?
We used to have that number.
It's like gotta be thousands,
Probably
right?
about 1,400, I believe.
Wondering if $800 is worth it.
I'm gonna have to double check with him, because he's got
Me, I think
6,400 on here. I think that's the townwide,
That would be townwide,
so.
yes.
That was to do a mailing to the town.
Every address.
Every one of our customers?
800, all addresses,
Oh,
customer or not.
Which doesn't sound like expensive.
No,
Maybe never a flushing was correct, I thought.
that's crazy. I told him it was supposed to be an insert for mailing, so let me get it, or clarify this whole.
I mean, to me, I think it's important enough to spend the $800 and do it.
Has anybody contacted the town to put it on like?
No, and I was wondering about that.
Yeah, I think it's important, but I'm not
It's
sure
not
it's,
a NVD thing.
I don't think it's an us thing. I mean, it's a public health thing. So to me, that should go to the health department. Like, I get it that we pump water and we distribute water for a living.
Are you aware of the health department doing anything in the past related remotely to PFAS and health exposure?
No, I'm not.
So maybe this is a good opportunity for them to step up and do it, but
I mean, so if it was, I mean, we can certainly send it, I mean, we would ask MTV to put stuff out for us as well. I mean, we can certainly ask.
I know, but that gets like 20 people.
Well,
I'm being real, you know, I mean,
This isn't our project.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't wanna step-
For that.
That's my.
probably our water that has the results of why we need the cancer study over the years. Not that there's any liability with that.
do you want us to look at a mailing, if that's a townwide mailing, do you want us to look at a mailing?
I think so. The town's gonna say it's not their, is it their responsibility? I guess a health department issue could be. This is ridiculous, where it's gonna bounce back and forth with, no one's gonna wanna advise our people in town. I don't know. I guess maybe we can talk to them, see if they wanna take it over. I mean, is there like a 99% chance they're gonna say absolutely not? I'm thinking probably. I don't know. I guess maybe we'll start with that. It's just, but we're gonna kick this around for 3 months and then it's gonna be too late.
Do you have an end date on that too? We didn't find.
I don't know that there is. I don't know.
And you give us parameters, how long they're gonna be doing.
It's the way everything goes, you know, everything takes months and then it, you know, nothing happens.
So we talk to Paul tomorrow and see if they can, what they can keep posting as well.
Yeah, can you do that? I guess we're gonna have to wait another month before we decide.
I'm just like, hasn't this gone through like the reps and stuff like that? Don't they have anything to do with this?
The only one would be Counselor Murphy because she's a town councilor, but I'm not aware
the
that
state reps.
any of the reps had approached the town to ask about this. I think they're a little burnt out right now because they just got done their legislative session. And I think maybe they're taking a little hiatus, which is well deserved. So I don't know that anyone's really checking with the town on pushing this right now. But I do agree, it's probably something that's, if there's a health officer getting messages on health concerns in Merrimack, what more would be in line with that
Right.
than this? I can't think of anything else. Unless there was like an outbreak in town or
Is
something.
there anyway, like, you know, with the next alerts that could they send out a blast about the survey? A lot of people have next alerts for like car, you know, for in town.
I'm sure they could. Well, let me talk to Paul tomorrow. I'll give you a call.
Because there's a URL here that you can push out if you can't put an image. You know, and I sent the file in PDF, PNG, and TIFF.
Honestly, this could be posted wherever like you do your postings for meetings. It could be posted on the bulletin board at town hall, post office, it could be at the library.
So, you know, technically, right, the DHHS is doing this. I don't know that they've come to Merrimack to do anything about this, to put it up there.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Why aren't they contacting?
Right.
Why aren't they sending out the mail? Well, why aren't they sending the mailer out, the mailer to?
Right. Why aren't they
Oh,
postcarding everybody?
Yeah,
they're not
for
sending.
$800. I mean, you got this probably millions of dollars in his cancer study. They can't afford $800.
No.
Talk to Paul. I'm going to reach out to Leanne Atwell. I was also not pleased at the last meeting. In June, I asked, why don't you contact WMUR? They'll probably do a public notice for free, a follow-up story or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good idea. Meeting in July, Friday. I asked again, did you contact WMUR? No, we think that's too broad of an audience. So
You read the form, that's what they want. They want residents of New Hampshire to fill out the form. So to me.
it's, you know, I don't want to say it, but it almost sounds like the pressure from above is to try to bury this thing. So it doesn't look like we have an issue. But I said it, and that's the way it is. Same old that I've been seeing. So I'll send an email to Leanne or call her and ask her why, if this is a Merrimack cancer study, why aren't they contacting anyone in Merrimack? And maybe they are, but it's not reaching. I mean, I guess there's just less than 10 people at these.
Well, I know my wife got an email, and I'm pretty sure I got one. I thought it was spam, to be honest with you.
Do you know from where it came?
I didn't think that they wanted people to fill it out that didn't have any health problems. I thought it was, oh, if you have an issue, you should fill this out.
It's in the past 2
It
weeks.
says with or without.
But that's not been like, when you read like the thing.
And it says New Hampshire residents. It doesn't even say Merrimack. It says Merrimack here, but then it says New Hampshire residents. So
I think if you're on the email list regarding, you know, early on the PFAS investigation, when we get emails and updates and stuff like that, I think you're.
Actually, I did get one too, but
yeah, I think that's how. I think that.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
You know, but none.
All right.
You know, I mean,
it
seems like there's a lot of opportunities, not just with us, to get the word out. That's what I guess I'm getting at.
Yeah, I mean, you guys raise a good point. It should be coming from the people putting on the study to go out and saturate the market that they're looking to get the people from, you know? Yeah. And I honestly just thought we could just, for free, this could go out as part of our bills. That's why I brought it up. But, you know, the $800 is a real consideration. Is it our money we should be doing this, or someone else's responsibility? And there's cases to be made for that. But at the same note, for us to make a decision on spending $800 is that's not even gonna happen until the next meeting, you know? So there's a whole nother month. This has already been out for over a month, maybe 2 months. So that's unfortunate.
Oh, this has been out that long?
At least a month.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. I got this over a month ago.
So if you're gonna talk to Leanne, can you find out if she does have a time frame that?
Yeah.
Or something?
Yeah, that's a good point. Right. So like an end of study timeframe deadline thing.
Yeah, even if she has like, we're gonna hold it open for a couple months, if she doesn't have an exact end date, at least we could put a tickler in our system to check in.
Right, that's a good point. All right, let's do that. If, I don't think the deadline is gonna be that soon. I think they're gonna be processing this data for quite a while. I'm hoping, so even if we do have to make a decision in August and it gets implemented even in September, hopefully that's enough time, but it's a critical thing and it's very unfortunate that it's not being put out there and no one seems to be really jumping on the initiative.
I guess my question would be, what is the point to the survey? Because I literally just took it and it didn't, I'm not sure how much information you're gonna get out of it.
What I didn't even do it yet. So
There's a bunch of like statements about health and it's like, how concerned are you? Very concerned, slightly concerned, neutral, not really concerned. Like that's what it is.
It's not asking you about.
If you have a condition or anything?
No, I didn't see that. It said, what town do you live in? And then it had all these questions about like, do you care about your pet's health? How concerned are you about this? How concerned are you about that? Like, it didn't seem so, yeah, you guys, you might want to take it because I just was a little, it seemed very, it was about how concerned you are, not
if you have issues, what
if
do
you've
you
had
have,
issues,
what,
if
yeah.
like so I was a little surprised.
All right. Well, yeah, then if it's just that, I don't know if it's worth $800 of MVD
I mean, that's why I was just like looking at it like, yeah. I guess I thought it would ask more questions, like real questions that had like hard data.
Now, I know there's these other discussion groups, and I don't know what's that's all involved with, but
It asked if like you wanted to be part of one.
right.
You gonna volunteer?
I was gonna say, don't volunteer.
No, I haven't. My husband's gonna kill me. It's fine.
Let me reach out to her. I'll get back to you, Ron, and find out what's going on. If there's anything that they plan on doing on their own, or if it's up to us to do this. Us mean Merrimack, our own people, Merrimack, to look into this. And the only other new business is I was made aware on that HB 737 commission meeting that Londonderry was awarded a $8 million grant from the Drinking Water Groundwater Trust Fund in New Hampshire, which I don't think is ARPA money. I think that's state money. But $8 million towards expanding water line extensions in Londonderry. So that's the biggest grant I've heard of probably ever. I'm not saying it is the biggest one I know of. I know we got 1.4 million towards our $14.5 million warrant articles for the 2 treatment plants. So that's quite a bit greater than the 1.4, which good for Londonderry. I'm not saying anything about that, but it's just interesting to know what's going on out there. That's why I bring it up.
Interesting.
So that's all I have.
Was it that 90 part of that 93 to get the water down to
I don't know where their water.
The project I'm talking about, right? Like that whole Salem.
No, I think this was all for PFAS related.
Oh, was it?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what that's all related to. So any other new business? If not, we can move on to superintendent report.
So I've already cut a lot of it out because I've already talked about well 8. So as I was saying earlier, well 8, the Barry should be bringing that pump tomorrow and installing that for well 8. We did order a new pumps for well 7 and 8. They should be probably here by the end of the week. And that was that whole
Redundancy.
talking about having something on for backup.
So those would be backup pumps you're talking about?
For 8, it'll be a backup. For 7, it's gonna go in and we're gonna have them repair the old.
Yep.
And that'll be a backup, so.
That is a backup. All right.
Yeah, so this has already been repaired, so I don't wanna say seized. They put the other one in, the one they're putting in tomorrow
That's well,
for well 8. They put that in last week and it ran for about 5 minutes, it bound up, there was sediment in the well, so he believes it was in there. They don't know what happened when they put it in. They might have bumped the side or something. Got some sediment in there. It stopped it. Pulled it back out. Cleaned it out. It's going to go back in. It should be all set to go. So,
does anyone probe the well to make sure the wells are not the screen didn't collapse or something?
It was
catastrophic like that, or they didn't think it was that?
They didn't think it was that. It was just.
Seems like a weird explanation.
Yeah, there's never been any sign of that, even on the last cleaning and surgings or anything like. It's never been anything like that. So that did come up. Brian and I were talking about it. Maybe we should have camera it just to make sure. But if we're not thinking that's what it is, it was just like rust type stuff in there. So it was probably just what was built up, and when they put it back in, they bumped the side or they didn't clean it enough from when it sat. He's been very short-handed. He's down to like 2 guys, and
Barry Miller pump service.
Yeah,
that's too bad.
Yeah, just lost the guy, so he's got one guy that was, I think, when the last guy left. So he's got one guy who's been with him for a while. One guy has only been with him for like 2 weeks when this other guy left. So he's been kind of scrambling. So anyways, we've ordered the spares. Like I said, 7 won't be a spare. That's going to go in. And we're actually, once we get everything back up and running, we're going to be starting to look at having spare motors as well for those. And maybe possibly other sites as well, but nothing else for those 2. It seems like that's where we have the issues.
And what's the rough cost on those extra pumps?
It's 16,000. Yeah. Really, for what we've been down for a month, it's really not that much.
Yeah. And we got budget numbers to account for that, right?
Yeah, we should be all set.
Is that one of the R&M repairs and maintenance budget items that we're probably under on some of those and can afford? Sounds good. That's good.
Just out of Mitchell Woods, or we did some pump tests out of Mitchell Woods for the maintain a large groundwater permit. And we also just our treatment foreman, last day was July 10th. He's gone off to EES, accepted a position up there. So it's
really
in the changed over there. Keep that position open for a little bit. We have somebody in mind for that in-house.
Okay, good. All right, anything else?
That's it.
All right, and I know we want to mention that this is Amanda's last meeting as far as being the secretary, and definitely want to wish Amanda the best. I don't know if anybody else has anything else to say, but she's been a pleasure to work with, extremely effective. I hope everything goes well and everything going forward. So we're gonna miss you.
Thank you. I have to say, I will probably be the only non-resident of Merrimack to continue watching these meetings, but I will also miss you guys. It has been a great 5 years.
Oh, it's fun.
Wow, that long already, huh?
Yeah.
Time flies when you have fun.
Yeah. Yeah. It does.
Well, good luck. I wish you the best on everything.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, I don't know if we can check if there's anybody on for questions from the press or public, waiting room or anything. Where that is. Looks like just the staff, okay. So that's concludes today's meeting. The next meeting is August 19th. And again, you can check on our mvdwater.org on the agenda for that meeting. It has the web link if you want to participate real time by Zoom or call in number to listen in. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion by Ken, second by Aaron. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's affirmative, 300. See you next month, Merrimack.